So AI is something that demands that you can actually understand the domains around you because you can be quite powerful as a team of one. I can prototype, I can code, I can design, I can put it in to the market, I can do a number of tests with users with very few other people involved. But that means that I need to not take over the job or replace an engineer or a designer or even the expert in my financial areas. It means that I need to have a very deep curiosity and ability to drive into those problem sets to know what's truly a problem and what it means for that problem to go wrong. And that can happen on the core content. It can happen on the design experience. It can happen on the technical possibilities of the model. And so it does matter to be surrounded by what I would consider to be what we did at Pipe is we have a tiger team set up on a number of the use cases that we're solving for. And that tiger team is a tight team of literally only 3 people. And those 3 people are a very deep person who we actually came through our acquisition of Glean AI, where he's been doing a lot of large language model work adapted into true outcomes for customers.
Hmm.
A PM who's been working on large language models in a relatively complex and very data rich environment before. And then the third is a designer who has had, I would say, a lot of exploratory, very, very, very exploratory early stage financial product experience. But frankly, you could argue that any one of them could be the prototype creator if they deeply understood the other. And so it becomes much more about the being disciplined about what the problem is you're solving for, and then
Right.
having range in terms of how you can think about how those problems touch a couple of dimensions of the product itself.
That's interesting. I think that with a designer, someone with a data rich background, someone with LLM experience, that's a very small team. And I also feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like product teams aren't normally that small. I mean, obviously it depends on how big the organization is, but am I off base here, or is that
That's the starter kit.
the
So that's
start
the
of
starter kit. That's the starter kit. So from there you need much more. And I say tiger teams because these pods are operating in different parts of the business. So they're
Okay.
unpicking things on our revenue areas and our customer support. Another pod is doing that on our internationalization. Another part is doing that on the product compliance, as I mentioned. And uh, I think I'll say fundamentally, you've got the typical parts of discovery and going as fast as possible from hypothesis to beta. What I'm saying is those tiger teams can work extremely well to unpick those problems very, very quickly and create knowledge and understanding in domains of your business that haven't even been touched by AI. What you then need, which is the progression we're moving to now, is a more mature infrastructure that is also run by a team, and that's a different looking team. But it's an infrastructure that primarily actually allows us to set up experiments and
Mhm.
create prototypes on a compliant infrastructure. So I don't lose personally identifiable information. I keep certain policies of segregated data, et cetera. And those things you don't want to reinvent every time. But that's another level of investment. And so that's why I said it's a starter kit. If you're really serious and you prove you have the right to play in creating AI experiences that your internal users can operate with, you then have the right to have the investment to create that infrastructure on top. And that's both the auditability pieces, as I mentioned, but ways that you get learning and feedback loops as well for the actual experiments.